I thought I asked for much
I
out
mean,
of fucking life.
I don't know. I don't know, like, whether it's misunderstanding or social media exaggerating the inconsistencies, because obviously a lot of people don't know what they're doing right now. But the police seem to be a little bit more heavy-handed than I would have thought. Like they seem to be really fucking going for it. And I get it. Usually, legislation like this takes months or years to come in, so they're ready for it. So they're all just doing it off the bat. But shit like closing tips down, and I saw a pub had been, obviously it's been shut now, so they were selling off all the stock. And they were doing it by delivery. So you literally just order the pub and they bring you, whatever, bottles of wine, bottles of beer, and that got shut down because the police insisted on um, sort of keeping an eye on everything, being there physically, and they felt guilty because the police should be doing other things. But it's like, well, why were the police there in the first place? Why? Why do they feel the need? But what
Why are the
exactly are
police
they
chasing
protecting?
people around the fucking hills?
I know, yeah, with fucking
Why are they chasing?
drones.
You're in the asshole of fucking nowhere. I could understand if there was 10,000 people, but you're in the
Yeah,
asshole
yeah.
of nowhere. Meanwhile, I've got some tit in fucking sports clothing sneezing down my fucking neck in the supermarket. That's fine. But go for a walk on the fucking hill, some prick's chasing you with a drone telling you to get home.
I know, yeah. Literally walking the dog. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm in the middle of nowhere, mate. I think I think we're safe. Just
Fucking bastards, bastards. They're just doing it to give me the shit. And
yeah.
fucking clapping. Now, I
Oh, I
appreciate the
know.
shit out of the NHS, but the government tells me to clap outside my fucking house. Are you kidding me? And last night was the best. I was trying to watch a Star Wars film with my son, and we were upstairs. We had the movie on. I was going, "They always going to do fireworks." He said, "Well, what's going on?" I said, "People are clapping for the NHS," and he just went, "Oh, there's always something."
I showed her self, and genuinely, she's had a bad week, man. She's had a hard week. Mostly because it's just prep. It's just stress prep. The wave hasn't hit yet, but yeah, I was like, the clapping for you, darling. She was like, so don't
Yeah,
care. It's a weird one. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Because I would have preferred it if like Corbyn and Boris hadn't have gone out and been photographed and all that. I would have preferred if it was like genuinely just something people were doing and wanted to
but
do
this
rather than
came
like,
this came from
you
the
know,
government. This
did
came
it?
from the government. Yeah, let's go out and clap for the NHS. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't. I don't know. I didn't
I'm
see who
pretty
started it.
sure
I
it
just
did.
saw
I
the
assume it did. I've decided it did.
I just saw the thing going around, the picture, like, let's show our support and all that. I mean, it was kind of sweet. I heard the kids up there doing it, but I wasn't really asked. It wasn't like in London. In the videos in London, where people were going nuts. Then again, London's totally on its ass, isn't it? They've got
Well, around
temporary
here
morgues.
there is someone that lives near me who works on the coronavirus ward.
Oh, really?
And of course, it's funny, isn't it? I respect the share them, and I know there's vulnerable people, and I've been playing by the rules. I've been distancing, all these things, only buying when I've had to get stuff. I get it, okay? I do get it. But today, two kids were outside on the bicycle. I think they were brother and sister. They were
Mm.
riding up and down the street. So there was a post on the Facebook group. Get your kids home. Ugh. So
Oh, come on, dude.
I walked my son round the block. You know,
Yeah.
it's got to get out. Oh, if you'd seen what I seen, you keep your kids home. It's not safe. And the more I'm told to fucking do something, this is the problem. I'm a prick. I'm a fucking arsehole. And the minute people start getting a little bit high and mighty, oh, and then I
Yeah.
start remembering all the other problems I've had where they, like when posting videos of me son knocking apples out of a tree. Youngsters have got no
Mm.
respect these days. And I start losing my temper. And it's like, well,
This
that's
is
it.
why, yeah.
The exercise is
It,
going to
it,
last for 2 hours in future.
this is the problem with isolation, and this is why when they all showed those graphs, like, this is what happens if we do nothing, this is what happens if we totally lock down, this is what happens if we self-isolate, and the curves get, and everyone was like, flatten the curve, you fucking wanker, everyone. But none of them look past, like, all these flattened bits here just have a big peak further on, because a populace can't go 3 months. They can't last 3 months inside. It sends them loop. Even China, there's riots in China now,
Oh yeah, they're
and the
turning
virus
police
is
cars
coming back.
over and stuff. Yeah, of course, because
Yeah,
they've had
yeah,
enough.
they're like, fuck this. I mean, God knows what the real death tolls are there. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? They expelled all the foreign journalists, and then the very next day, the death rate just Wuhan. They were like 0. Like they actually had the brass balls to go for it. And just go 0, none. We've sorted it. Like, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
No. Well, we had a
such
couple
fucking
foreigners
bollocks.
though.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking sick of it, and it just makes it harder when you have these sanctimonious people. It's like, yeah, I know there's teenagers going out because you know what? There's gonna be teenagers going out. There's nothing you can fucking do about the rude pricks coughing in
Yeah.
people's faces because there's no fucking police. So do you know what? Don't keep moaning because you're making it worse. You're making it intolerable for me, and
Yeah.
it makes me want to not do the things that I should be doing.
And the thing is as well, all this shaming of specific individuals, like the drone footage was insane.
That was
How do you have the
stupid.
time to do that? How? And what problem are they causing? But there was a I saw another one up there where it was out in the country, where they are, and it was a woman taking a picture of a car, an empty van, so it could have been anyone's, could have been one or a family or whoever, and just was like, look at this. But it's like, bitch, you're there as well. You're there taking a picture of them going, look at this. And it's like, what? Why are you allowed to be there, but not like, look, if someone wants to go and sit in a fucking hill in the middle of nowhere, I don't give a fuck.
What harm are they
Like,
doing?
they're, they- they're not going to do anything to anyone, really. There is a slight issue when it is just people ramming into those narrow, like in the high peak, those narrow little touristy locations. But people have been sharing pictures of car parks with like 5 cars in and going, look, five, five fucking cars. And ultimately, as a society, as a culture, this is probably going to go on for a long time, and more people are going to be like, is there any point to this? Why are we doing this? This is bullshit. And if people are acting like Stasi informant arseholes, they're gonna put an end to it way quicker than they expected, because there'll just be a rebellion.
Of
It's
course,
always about riot control.
but there has to be. That's the thing. It's getting a bit fucking much. Now, like I say, I'm all for staying in. We've got to do what we've got to do, because we do have to keep trying to kick that spike as far down the road towards the summer as we can. I get that. But you're going to have to meet people halfway. You're going to have to meet people halfway now. I mean, there's things that are going to happen. I've noticed like the amount of people on these like local groups. Look at these bastards panic buying. Look at these pricks going out. It's like, statistically, a good portion of you doing this right now are the fuckers that were doing that as well.
Yeah.
Get off your high horse. And then the ignorance I bumped into. Someone saying, well, if people don't want to isolate, they shouldn't have to. How can they affect people if they're not ill? What? Do you watch the news? Well, it's nonsense because viruses are lighter than air and can float for miles. Are you fucking mental? Are you completely fucking mental? So, of course, I am now in a local group with some guy saying, when this is all finished, I'm going to meet you and kick your head in. No, you're not, you dickhead, because you'll be fucking dead.
Soph was out today. Someone started shouting at a third person who was wearing a mask and going, "What are you doing, you knobhead? It's not airborne." And then went to Sophie because he obviously saw her NHS stuff and went, "Isn't it?" And she was like, "Yeah, it is. Of course, it's airborne. It survives in the air for 3 fucking hours." And but he's just down at the local supermarket, just shouting at people for wearing masks, as if that's going to help anything. It's like it's the stereotype that's given you of a Brexit or a Trump supporter, isn't it? Just down there going, "What are you doing, you idiots?" And it's like, oh, for God's sake.
If it makes
It's
people
like when
happy.
you. Yeah, I know. He probably, apart from the person he was shouting at, because he was just, imagine shouting at someone for wearing a mask. Can you imagine?
Can I imagine shouting at people in general?
I know, yeah, just telling people off in public. Someone did that with me once. I was on the bus and I was rolling a cig, and I literally, in my own little world, rolling the cig before I get off the bus, because obviously You don't want to stand there in the wind and the rain. You want to just get off and go, oh yeah, nice. And it's just some dude went nuts at me. If you dare like that, and I was like, mate. I was just rolling it. Look, I'm just rolling it. And he's like, I'm like in the middle on the bottom deck. It's not like I'm hiding at the top there and I'm like looking around. I'm like in a packed bus full of people, bottom deck like that, just happily rolling. And he just lost. I don't know who the fuck he thought I was, but he was like, it's one rule for you and another for the rest of us, isn't it? I fucking hate it. And I'm just like, oh, mate. Bring it down, please. Bless him.
I did see today that
really
the police are saying that they really hope, really hope that we police each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I want. I want my local neighbourhood watch policing me, because that leads to community cohesion. You know, I'm going to put some flyers out when this is done and say, we've come through it. Now, could we carry these isolation things on just a bit longer locally? In the next 2-3 fucking years, please.
This is how you know, when you look at like Nazis and, you know, communism and all that and Pol Pot and all that bullshit, and people are always saying, oh, imagine what you would do if the fascists took over, and ultimately it's those same cunts, because they're all over Twitter now just dobbing people in. They're the exact people who support these regimes, and look how quickly, just instantly at the drop of the dime, people are reporting anonymously. Like, it's so ridiculously open to abuse, you know, like to actually report to the police. I mean, Jesus, man. Like, I've seen big groups of kids in our park here, but ultimately, like, the police must know about it. You can report it to the council in a general sense. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to be fucking him at number 17. That bastard went out twice today. Fuck off.
Well, the other thing I want to know
This is how it
is,
happens.
though, I want to know. I noticed when we were going around, we've got Junior put his, like, you know, he's got inline skates, so we went round the block a few times, middle of the road, you know, and I noticed a few people throwing the disapproving glances, and it's like, I'm sure you've been shopping. We're walking down the middle of the street. It's not going to pounce. It's not lying everywhere. Plus, the fact he's probably had it, been done with it, and we've not even fucking known.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not letting him go up and hug old people. I don't do that as a matter of course anyway. I've got my son reasonably well trained not to run up and hug strangers, so I don't think he's about to start now that everyone's dying of the drippy Chinese cough. It's not going to happen.